I've got to touch on some of what you guys may have seen on social media and what happened after the game today.
Arsenal Fan TV, or more recently known as AFTV, a platform set up by entrepreneur Robbie Lyle in 2012 to give Arsenal fans a voice online. They rose to prominence in the penultimate years of Arsene Wenger's reign, with the Wenger Out campaign gathering pace. It quickly became extremely popular in this period for its weekly rants from big personalities, as you'll have seen, quickly established themselves as the biggest club-specific fan medium on the planet, something I could only dream of, so fair play. However, in recent months, many have been quick to point out its flaws, blaming it for provoking the rise in toxicity amongst the fan base, and some even making bold claims that they want Arsenal to lose, resulting in this video after the Everton game today. But are Arsenal Fan TV really an issue? That is what I'm going to be giving my opinion on today, so yeah, let's get into it. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to ACTV. I know I made a video a few months ago saying I'm back.
Suck cunts, I'm back.
I did warn in the video that it could be a few months, so you know, don't really get onto me, not like you really give a shit, but yeah. I've just watched the Everton-Arsenal game. I could be making a video on that game, but wasn't really much to talk about. One of the worst games I've ever seen live, so yeah, I saw this online, and you know, AFTV Arsenal, my channel, views. So what to say about Arsenal Fan TV? First of all, I'd like to say I really like the concept. I really like what Robbie set out to do, and I do think it's quite pure in that sense. I do think that he set out, I think it had the purest intentions to, you know, just give Arsenal fans a voice. He obviously loves Arsenal, and you know, he started the channel so he could do something that he enjoys, and also he could give Arsenal fans a voice online, a more prominent voice in society, and you know, out there. So yeah, I like that concept, and I rate him for doing that. Having said that, I do think there are elements of AFTV which I think have contributed to this toxicity, you know, this rage culture within the fan base. You know, it has definitely become a toxic fan base in the last few years, and I do think AFTV are part of that, inevitably. You know, they've got 1 million subscribers. That is a huge amount of people watching their content regularly, and you know, 1 million, that is more than, you know, any of the other big Arsenal blogs, you know, Arseblog, you know, Pain in the Arsenal, Just Arsenal, all of these other big Arsenal blogs, even some of the other content creators like Hugh Wizzy, you know, they are massive, they're much bigger than them, and whatever you say, they're going to have an impact on people's opinions, because their only source of Arsenal media is Arsenal Fan TV, which means they're going to be influenced by Arsenal Fan TV, because that is the only sort of football media that they watch. So you know, their voice, their opinions are going to be influenced by that. So inevitably, Arsenal Fan TV are going to have an impact on the club's fan base. That is just, it's just going to happen. You know, that's how it works. I think there is this perception around AFTV that it's an inherently ranty program, and admittedly that is its, you know, its main, it's the thing that has made it so big. You know, it's rant. I think that's kind of obvious if you look at the statistics. Having said that, I don't think the claim that Arsenal Fan TV members and, you know, Robbie want Arsenal to lose because he'll seek the financial reward from it. I don't agree with that, because I think if you look at it, it's not as though AFTV couldn't function with Arsenal winning. In fact, I think if Arsenal were to go a season unbeaten, I think it would probably bang views as well, because I think if you look at society, they want to watch things with emotion, and you know, extremes will thrive in society. So you know, rants or extreme happiness, you know, if we went unbeaten next season, I guarantee you the numbers would be maybe not quite as big as the you know, the final Wenger years, but they would still be big. Adding to this, I also think AFTV could function had they not, you know, but had they not had these massive rants. If you look at before, you know, the likes of DT and Troops really blew up, they still had a regular following. They still had 200,000 subscribers, around that, maybe more. Also, it's not as though the monetization of these videos is where AFTV's biggest sources of income will come from. It will come through merchandise, through brand deals. So it's not like they solely rely on big personalities from the likes of DT and Troops and their rants for views. Having said that, as I said earlier, I do think they've had an influence on fans worldwide, and I do think it has possibly raised this rage culture and toxicity. I do think there's an element of social media being a big aspect of that. You know, the rise of social media has given people a voice and it's allowed them to express themselves more freely. You know, you can be anonymous online, so that itself has made, I'd say, society more toxic and our fan base. But I do think Arsenal in particular has been affected by AFTV in that, you know, as I was saying, these fans with little other sources of football media are watching, you know, their big personalities on Arsenal Fan TV ranting, and that has influenced the fan base and made us a bit more toxic, I would say. I don't think you can really blame AFTV for that. You can't really blame the fact that they've become the biggest channel and that, you know, they're reaping the rewards of that. You can't really blame them for that, and you can't blame them for the fact that they are having an effect. It's not as though AFTV is Unai Emery. It's not as though they're the players on the pitch. They're not the ones directly responsible for the results on the pitch. So in that sense, I wouldn't say they're an issue. However, I do think they have, you know, the Xhaka incident. I wouldn't say they're necessarily the fans in the stadium were, you know, massive AFTV supporters or, you know, watchers, but this overall culture around the club has risen as a result of fans being influenced by AFTV, and that has accepted rage culture and normalised it in a way. So I do think that argument is valid, but I'm not one of these people that's saying AFTV should be shut down. I think maybe they should have a few changes in policies. We see a greater diversity of fans going on there, not in terms of like ethnic backgrounds and stuff like that and sexuality, but I'm talking about in terms of like sheer numbers, like new people coming onto the show. You know, if someone's going to be abusive on the, I'm not saying this is like frequent, but I've seen people have been abusive on Arsenal Fan TV towards players, managers, etc., or just to other people in the fan base, and, you know, a bit toxic. If they are going to be abusive, maybe Robbie does have to take action. I understand when he's saying stuff like he doesn't want to suppress certain fans just because we don't agree with their opinion. They shouldn't be allowed. But if someone's going to be abusive, maybe you do have to take that action and stop them from, you know, being abusive on their platform. As long as it's, you know, it's constructive criticism, or if it's not like too over the top in their maybe hate, whatever you want to say, then I don't think it's a problem. But I know I'm sort of sitting on the fence as to whether they are a problem, and I don't think they're inherently a direct cause of poor results, but I do think in terms of the culture around the club and the fan base, they have influenced it in a way. If you're one of those people shouting, we want Arsenal Fan TV out of our club, or Arsenal Fan TV get out of our club, I just think that's ridiculous. I think that is hypocritical. You know, you're criticising them mainly for being toxic and for wanting Arsenal to lose so they can seek the financial rewards, which again, there would be a stable business without poor Arsenal results, I do think, because that is evident before the build-up of, you know, Wenger out. They did have a big fan base and they were making money then. Obviously, this has heightened it. But obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of the Arsenal Fan TV bank balance. If you are criticising them for being toxic and then you are worsening the divide in the fan base, because this is quite a divided, I think I would say it's relatively 50-50, maybe slightly shifting towards anti-AFTV. If you are one of these people fueling that toxicity towards AFTV, you are hypocritical, because that's what you are, you know, criticising them for. And I do understand your frustrations about them influencing fans and making them more toxic, and I do understand that argument, as I've said, but I don't think you're really helping the situation. I don't think that's the way to go about it. I know I'm not really the one to say what you should be acting, you know, how you should be acting towards people, but I don't think you're really helping the situation. And it looked quite unsavoury, that footage, from which I've seen from outside Goodison Park and inside the stadium as well. So yeah, I think there's a different way to go about it, and I don't think that is the way personally. It'd be interesting to see what you think. I can hear both sides of the argument personally, and I'd love to hear what you think about this down below. I know this hasn't been particularly, you know, jokey or anything, but I'll try and get back on those videos. I know I said that last time, so maybe another few months. Not that you give a shit, not like this is some fucking massive, you know, platform where you've got, you know, I've got a loyal fan base, you know. If you like the video, if you agreed with some of the things I said, then yeah, leave a like and that, and I'll try and see you next time. And yeah, if I manage to get some, you know, nice comments, not just like fucking nonce and, you know, get a trim, then that would be great. That would be a bonus. But yeah, I'll see you next time. If you like this video or just a big Arsenal fan, please go and check out my website, weloveyouarsenal.co.uk, where we have a team of talented writers writing articles every day. It's absolute quality. It'd be a shame if you didn't look at it. You'd be massively missing out. Also, go and follow me on Instagram at @AlfieCulshaw_TV and on Twitter at AlfieCulshaw. So yeah, have a good day.